Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. So it seems Marketplace has delivered once again for me. I've managed to pick up this absolute behemoth of a retro PC. As you'll notice, it's the Cooler Master Cosmos S and I paid just £30 for it. Back in the late 2000s, this full tower E ATX chassis was an absolute luxury, and honestly, seeing this kind of well put together full aluminium case brings back those nostalgia feels. So now that the side panel's off, the first thing you'll notice is that huge Thermalright air cooler and the very period appropriate blue LED fan. Now the real surprise, however, was what was waiting underneath that cooler. The guy who I bought it off wasn't quite sure what it was, only that he'd bought it off a friend who used to work, or still may work, at Scan Computers. So as soon as I got it in the car, I popped that cooler off to have a look, and I was greeted with the words confidential. Now, as you may know, that means it's not a standard retail processor, and in fact it's one of the official Intel engineering examples. These were shipped out exclusively to motherboard partners and other manufacturers to help make sure the platform was stable and to measure the performance. So what does that translate to? Well, it's actually a Core 2 Quad Q9650. I'm hoping that, being one of the Intel engineering examples, that it's going to be quite a well binned one, and I am going to try get some serious levels of overclock out of this aging silicone. So here, just having a look around the rest of the case, quite well cable managed, especially seeing as how there's no hardy holes around the back of the case. It's pretty much just a solid affair, so you've got to have the power supply cables loose. But some pride has definitely been taken in keeping and maintaining this once legendary setup. Now moving in for a closer look, and first of all we have got that XFX GTX 285, powered by Nvidia's 55nm GT200B processor. This single GPU monster was the undisputed king of frame rates back when Can It Play Crysis was all the rage. XFX have given it that iconic aggressive green shroud design with that lovely blower cooler. With 1GB of GDDR3 memory on a massive 512-bit bus, this card pushed past 200 watts and ran super hot, but it handled everything you could think to throw at it. Moving on to the RAM, we've got 2 sticks of Corsair Dominator DDR2 and 2 sticks of Corsair XMS2. Those 2 later ones were just 10p each from CEX, so quite the retro bargain. So now that I've got my benchmark SSD installed and everything's up and running, we're on to Windows 10, and I fired up Afterburner just to see what more performance we could push out of this aging card. Nothing too major here. I think I took the core clock up 100 MHz and the memory clock just over 150. When this card is running anything over 50% fan speed, and the neighbours are going to be knocking on the walls, so I have tried to keep that turned down as much as possible. With the CPU, after refamiliarising myself with text-based BIOSes, I did manage to get the card running at a very stable 3.6 GHz. I do believe these go up to 4 GHz with a little increase in voltage, but for now, if we're just going to be messing about on a couple of games, I'm going to leave it at 3.6. So moving on to some gameplay, and we're gonna start with the vanilla version of Skyrim. This decided to try and launch itself in 1080p, which I think is going to be a little bit optimistic even for such a flagship of the day card. So we've dropped that down to 720p and the high preset. The recommended specs at the time were for a quad-core Intel or AMD CPU, 4GB of memory, and a DirectX 9 compatible card with at least 1GB of VRAM. It was the Nvidia GTX 260 on Team Green and the Radeon HD 4890 or above for AMD. So just having a walk around Whiterun here, and the frame rate is in the mid to high 40s. When not recording through the software, that is almost a capped 60, so it is taking around 15 frames off recording through Afterburner. Now we're hopping over here to one of my favourite spots, quite a nice area of the game. It's got a good mixture of water textures, it's got some mountains in the distance, some good scenery all around, especially when you've not cleared out the camp of Forsworn. There's a few of those that you can have a bit of combat with, but I most recently have been through here and showed no mercy. So just walking to the end of the pier here, again some spectacular views, and it's really hard to believe that this game is now 15 years old, and I originally played it back on the PlayStation 3. So if I'd have had graphics like this back then, I think it would have really blown my mind. Not that they were bad on the PS3, they certainly did me for over 200 hours on my first outing. Now then, moving over to Crysis, and I thought, well, we have to try it at full 1080p, don't we?
Okay,
just
listen
to
up,
see
gentlemen.
if
Intel
this would have been
reports
achieved
significant military presence
back
on
in
the
the
island.
day.
We have the element of
I'm going
surprise,
to just let
so
this
let's use it.
cutscene play out
The
and
North
speak for
Koreans
itself.
can't know we're here.
But again,
I won't even
a
know what
fantastic
it's
looking game
Can it, Psycho?
for the time.
Pay attention. This is a covert operation. Our job is to locate and evacuate. We're not at war here.
Not yet.
Prophet, do we even know if these people are still alive?
That's what we're here to find out. We lost contact with Dr. Rosenthal a week ago when the Korean military locked down the island. 2 days ago, we picked up a distress signal from the team's research vessel. Someone down there wants to be found.
Raptor team, we're beginning approach. Stand by for green.
All right, gear up. Masks on. Once we clear the plane, form up on me. Shoots on my mark.
Green in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Now, much like Nomad landing in the jungle, I have no idea at all what's going on. It's been so long since I played Crysis, I can't remember any of the keybinds, so I stuck the trusty Xbox controller in, and that didn't really do me any favours either. I just end up fumbling around for a while, and the muscle memory has well and truly failed me on this one. Now, performance wise, sticking at 1080p. While I'm out here in the open just fumbling with my gun, the frame rate was anywhere from the very late 20s to the late 30s, but that's with not much going on. As you'll see, once I get into this next patrol, things do go a little south quite quickly. I do manage to work out how to put the stealth mode on, so we can creep up a little bit on this guy. You can already notice that the frame rate is dropping into the mid-20s here, and once the gunplay begins, we're down to pretty much unplayable frame rates, and that is what I'm going to blame for my ultimate early demise. So there we go, Just a quick one to show you just what is out there for next to no money at all. I am planning on putting 8 gigabit of RAM in. I've actually ordered that on eBay, so that's 4 2 gig sticks of XMS2 memory. But as for anything else, if you guys let me know what you think I should do with it, whether that's putting on a copy of Windows XP or Windows 7, I'm more than happy to give those a try, or if there's any recommendations for the next level up of graphics card. Thank you, and I will see you again.